What if the person everyone laughed at turned out to be the one person the world needed to respect? The camera pans across a bustling office cafeteria, laughter echoing, glasses clinking, whispers darting between colleagues. In the corner, a man in worn-out shoes quietly mops the floor, his back slightly hunched, eyes focused. He doesn't notice the group of interns watching him, smirking, whispering, plotting. The narrator's voice lowers. Sometimes, it takes just one cruel joke to reveal who people really are, and who truly matters. Cut to a boardroom filled with silence, the CEO standing still, eyes locked on someone unseen. Then fade to black. Let me tell you how one joke changed everything. Daniel Reyes had worked at Riverside Corporation for 12 years. Every morning at 5 a.m., before the first executive car pulled into the parking lot, he arrived, gray uniform, mop in one hand, a faded lunchbox in the other. He wasn't invisible because he wanted to be. People just made him that way. He smiled through quiet hallways, wiped down coffee stains from desks, and emptied trash bins with a quiet dignity most people never noticed. But that Friday, the one that would change everything, a group of interns decided to have some fun. "Hey guys, you know that new analyst, Mia," said Tyler, the self-proclaimed leader of the intern pack. "She said she's never been on a blind date before. Let's fix that." The others snickered. "With who?" Tyler grinned, nodding toward Daniel, who was cleaning the glass door nearby. "The janitor." Mia, who was kind but often too shy to speak up, blushed immediately. "That's not funny, Tyler, don't." "Oh, come on, it's just a joke. He'll probably enjoy a fancy dinner for once." They made a fake dating profile using Daniel's photo, one they'd secretly snapped while he was cleaning, and matched it to Mia's profile. The date was set for Saturday night at Le Jardin, one of the city's most expensive restaurants. Daniel received a message on his old flip phone, a kind woman named Mia asking to meet him for dinner. The text was polite, respectful. Daniel hadn't been asked out in over a decade since his wife passed away from cancer. His daughter, Lily, now 14, had been encouraging him to get out more. "Dad, you should go," Lily said, smiling as she fixed his tie. "You deserve a night that's about you." So Daniel went, nervous, hopeful, his shoes shined, his one good jacket pressed. But when he arrived, all he saw were flashing phone cameras, whispering laughter. And Mia sitting frozen, eyes wide as she realized what had been done. Tyler and the interns were in the corner, pretending to drink wine, waiting to see the janitor's reaction. Daniel stood by the table, holding a small box of chocolates he'd bought on the way. When the laughter began, something inside him cracked, but he didn't lash out. He simply placed the chocolates on the table, bowed slightly, and said, "I hope you all have a nice evening." He turned and walked out, shoulders squared, eyes glistening under the chandelier light. Mia ran after him, calling his name, but he was already gone. That night, she couldn't sleep. The sound of that laughter echoed in her mind, mixed with the image of a kind man who didn't deserve to be humiliated. The next morning, she went to HR and reported everything. Monday morning at Riverside felt different. Word had spread about what happened. The janitor joke had leaked onto social media through one of the interns' stories. The comments weren't kind to the company. Mia sat outside the CEO's office, nervous. Inside, the CEO, Evelyn Grant, was staring at the photo of Daniel circulating online, not because she was angry at the interns, but because she recognized him. When everyone gathered in the conference room, Evelyn entered, sharp and calm. Her voice carried like thunder through still air. "I called this meeting," she said, "to discuss something that happened under our roof, something disgraceful." The interns shifted uncomfortably. Tyler tried to speak, but Evelyn raised her hand. "I want to start with a story," she said. 15 years ago, when this company was struggling to stay alive, a man named Daniel Reyes was a maintenance worker here. But during a fire that broke out in the old East Wing, he carried 2 of our engineers out before the fire department even arrived. He was hospitalized for smoke inhalation, but when he recovered, he refused any reward. He just asked to keep his job. The room was dead silent. "That man," she continued, her eyes cold as stone, "is the same Daniel Reyes you mocked. The same man who comes in early so your offices are clean when you arrive. The same man who saved this company, literally and morally, more than once." She turned to the interns. "You thought it was a joke. You forgot that respect isn't about a job title, it's about character, and Daniel Reyes has more of it than anyone in this room." One by one, the interns lowered their heads. Tyler was trembling, his arrogance shattered. Mia was crying softly. Evelyn took a deep breath. Effective immediately, the interns involved in this act are terminated. And as for Mr. Reyes, I've decided to make something right. A few minutes later, Daniel was called into the room. He looked nervous, clutching his cap in his hand. "Mr. Reyes," Evelyn said, standing, "I owe you more than an apology. I owe you gratitude. You've served this company with humility and heart. From today, I'd like to offer you a full-time role as head of facilities operations, with benefits, a team, and the respect you've always earned." Daniel froze, eyes wide. "Ma'am, I don't know what to say." "Just say yes," Evelyn smiled softly. Tears welled up in his eyes. "Then, yes, thank you." The room erupted in applause. Even Mia stood up, clapping through her tears. Later, she approached Daniel privately, apologizing sincerely. He forgave her instantly. "I know you didn't mean to hurt me," he said gently. "Just promise me something, never stay silent when someone's being treated unfairly." Mia nodded, "I won't." That afternoon, Daniel went home to his daughter, his new ID badge gleaming. Lily jumped into his arms, laughing. "I told you, Dad, good things happen to good people." He smiled, holding her close. "Sometimes they do, sweetheart. Sometimes they really do. Kindness costs nothing, but cruelty can cost everything. Never underestimate the quiet souls in the background, because one day they might be the reason your world keeps standing." Fade out to soft music. Daniel walking down a bright hallway, not as the janitor anymore, but as a man finally seen for who he truly was.